2015. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Calling the roll, Mr. Germana. Here. Mr. Gallagher. Here. Mr. Schron. Here. Ms. Conwell. Here. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Mr. Hairston. Here. Ms. Simon. Here. Mr. Greenspan.
Here.
Mr. Miller. Here. And President Brady.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Thank you. All those in, let's now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under our silent meditation, moment of silence tradition, I'd like to just have people keep in mind the events of the last 7 days in Paris and the consequences and meaning of that. Okay. All right, Madam Clerk, do we have anybody signed in for public comment related to the agenda for the regular committee?
Mr. President, we do not.
All right. We need to move now to the approval of the minutes as listed under item 6.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Schron and seconded by Councilman Harrison. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All those nays. Minutes are approved. Thank you. All right. Well, we have a moment here where we have comments from the council president. This is my first opportunity to do this. So bear with me. First, I'd like to thank the voters of District 3 for giving me a second term to serve as their representative. I'd also like to thank my colleagues for investing their trust and confidence in me to serve in the capacity of council president for the next 2 years. I'm very proud of how far this council has come over the last 4 years. We've been successful in building a strong, bipartisan, and independent institution. With this influence and independence that we have collectively achieved comes responsibility. None of us are in the minority. Neither are we in an opposition party to the administration. This is not a competition, a sporting event, or a hobby. We've been granted the authority by the voters of Cuyahoga County to serve the public for the good of the community. I believe we should be thoughtful, serious, somehow retain our sense of humor, keep a perspective about the limits of our authority, even as we seek to meet the challenges that we encounter, and take advantage of the many opportunities that present themselves. I pledge to work with my colleagues and the executive to meet our obligations. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't speak for what I know is everybody in the room on congratulating the Ohio Buckeyes and the Ohio State University in their victory in the national championships last night. We are obviously particularly proud of our native son, Cordell Jones, the quarterback for the Buckeyes, and Glenville's own Cordell Jones. So, thank you. Did everybody stay up late? Mm-hmm. Sure. All right. Message from the from our new county executive.
Thank you. Well, I too want to take the opportunity to congratulate you, Mr. President, and Mr. Vice President, on your election by the council and for your positions. And I want to congratulate all the council members for their committee assignments, and I look forward to working with all of you. I want to thank the council and the administration, our former administration and our former council president, for making the transition that we've been going through so smooth and easy. I've been through another transition in Columbus, and it wasn't quite as easy as this one. I appreciate everything. I look forward to the opportunity to meet with each and every one of you and learn your issues, your concerns, both within your districts and for the county as a whole. I hope to have a very transparent office for both me and my staff, make them available as you need, whatever you need. I hope everybody will be available on our side to help you. I'm going to make every effort to include you when we're dealing with issues that touch upon your council district, and to make sure that we extend an invitation when we're out visiting in your council area. To that end, I want to start by thanking Councilman Anthony Hairston for his early involvement last week and this week, in assisting the city of East Cleveland with the purchase of 2 critically needed snow trucks, snow plows. I also want to make sure I thank Huntington Bank for stepping in and facilitating this purchase of these 2 trucks. Without their assistance, the purchase of these trucks would not have been possible, and the city of East Cleveland would not have been eligible to receive reimbursement of $256,000 from the CDBG grant from HUD. This is the exact type of collaborative work that we look forward to doing. This is the way we get the job done for the public and what we aspire to in all of our partnerships in your communities. We're going to try to leverage strategic partnerships, as we did with Huntington, and with the entire business community so that we can assist in your cities. And we're trying to create a nimble county government. I want to make sure people understand. I received the call from Mayor Norton for help in this matter Friday, and tonight the issue was going before East Cleveland Council as a completed deal, subject only to their approval. So, it took us almost no time to get this thing done. And that's a tribute to the staff here, also to Huntington Bank for being able to move quickly. Both the county government and Huntington, to quote a phrase from Governor Kasich, both moved at the speed of business, which is not always the case. So I appreciate all that was done, and I hope that this is a model for us as we move forward, both in terms of collaboration and speed and efficiency. So thank you, Councilman Hairston, and thank all of you.
Thank you, County Executive. We'll move now to item 9 in the legislation introduced by Council, consideration of a resolution of Council for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
To suspend the rules.
Moved by Councilman Gallagher and seconded by Councilman Germana. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2015-0002, a resolution approving the appointment of Deborah Southerington to serve on the Cuyahoga County Personnel Review Commission for an unexpired term ending March 7th, 2019, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
We have a motion to move this resolution.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Councilwoman Conwell, seconded by Councilman Germana. Councilwoman Conwell?
Yes, President Brady. I want to just give a little background on how we got to this point. The Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee is charged with sending a recommendation of approval or disapproval to the Committee of the Whole on county executive selected appointees. In a recent charter amendment, the electors of Cuyahoga County voted to give authority of appointment of the Personnel Review Commission to Cuyahoga County Council to promote equity for non-classified Cuyahoga County employees. Mrs. Southington, if appointed, will be the second PRC to be appointed by council. The process of selection starts with first posting of the position, number 2, a review of the candidates, and first round interviews were conducted by our council staff. A second round of interviews were conducted by some council members and staff. The administrator of the PRC Personnel Review Commission was Rebecca Kopinski. She sat in the interview to provide any information for the candidates that was relevant to the position, but did not participate in the scoring. After meeting with the candidates, a determination was made that given the current knowledge of HR department, having past knowledge of county government, and her commitment to serve on the commission, Mrs. Southington was the candidate that was selected to be brought forth to the committee of the whole. President Brady, the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee would like to move this legislation to be passed under first reading suspension.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, Councilwoman Conwell. Consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2015-0003, a resolution adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County Non-Bargaining Classification Plan and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
And that will go to HR. Consideration of ordinance of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2015-0001, an ordinance amending Chapter 114 of the Cuyahoga County Code to ensure transparency and equity across county appointees and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective. Additionally, Councilwoman Conwell is requested to be a sponsor to this legislation.
This will go to HR.
Ordinance number 2015-0002, an ordinance amending Section 206.06 of the Cuyahoga County Code to update the operating rules of the Charter Review Commission. Additionally, Councilwoman Conwell has requested to be a sponsor of this legislation.
And this will go to Council Operations. Legislation introduced by the Executive, consideration of resolutions for first reading, adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gallagher and seconded by Councilman Schron. All those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2015-0004, a resolution amending the 2014-2015 biennial operating budget for 2015 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Councilman Schron, seconded by Councilwoman Conwell. Councilman Greenspan, I believe that you
Yes, thank you, Mr. President.
have a handout and some things to say.
Thank you. I have compiled a memo which each of you has a copy of. The memo, and the way I'd like to do this is a little differently than we've done in the past. What I'd like to ask is that my colleagues and staff review this. Every 2 weeks we have this item before us, different items relating to amendments to the budget. For our review, what I'd like to ask you to do is please consolidate questions that you may have as it relates to items presented in this agenda item. In this memo, I want to change just on the fly here, that you forward your questions to Trevor McAleer as soon as you have them. And the intent is to send the questions in a consolidated fashion to the administration for their review input and for them to provide feedback and answers. My intent is Monday prior to a Tuesday council meeting to submit back to council a memo very similar to this, which will have the questions, the response from the administration, somewhat of a narrative as to what's going on. You'll also have the responder from the administration as well as the requester from council or from staff. That way we have an opportunity to understand where the question is coming from as far as the question, but also who responded. There were 2 items that I saw on the agenda. They've been addressed here. I want to thank the administration, Chris Murray, for responding very quickly for the responses. And if there are no questions from council, I would recommend that this item be passed as presented.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution passes.
Resolution number 2015-0005, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between Graphic Communications Conference, Local 546M, affiliated with International Brotherhood of Teamsters, representing approximately 8 employees in various classifications at the county print shop for the period February 1, 2015 through January 31, 2018, directing that funds necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement be budgeted and appropriated, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
All right, this was the issue that we discussed in the executive session. The recommendation from the law department is that we support the passage of this resolution.
I'll move to adopt.
Agreement. Councilman Miller has moved to adopt. Second. Councilman Conwell's seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2015-0006, a resolution authorizing an extension of time to file 2015 dog license applications renewals from January 31st, 2015 to February 14, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute all documents consistent with this resolution and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Let's go to finance.
Resolution number 2015-0007, a resolution approving the appropriation of funds for year 2015 based on the statement of appropriation status dated December 31, 2014, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for free balances for grants and capital projects, encumbrances for grants and capital projects, and encumbrances for all other funds.
Go to finance.
Resolution number 2015-0008, a resolution authorizing agreements with various political subdivisions for participation in the Cuyahoga County Benefits Regionalization Program for the period January 1, 2015 through December 31, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreements and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the political subdivisions as printed on the agenda, items 3, 1 through 7.
Let's go to HR.
Resolution number 2015-0009, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County in the amount not to exceed $568,197 for residential and intensive outpatient treatment services in connection with the fiscal year 2014 Drug Court Expansion Project for the period January 1, 2015 through September 29, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Public safety.
Resolution number 2015-0010, resolution authorizing an agreement with Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County in the amount not to exceed $2,380,395 for the Adult Probation Substance Abuse Residential Treatment Program for the period January 1, 2015 through December 31, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Public safety.
Resolution number 2015-0011, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Cuyahoga County Department of Public Safety and Justice Services, Division of Mediation, in the amount not to exceed $852,000 for mediation and associated administrative services for the Juvenile Court Custody Mediation Project for the period February 1, 2015 through January 31, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Public safety.
Resolution number 2015-0012, a resolution making awards on requisition number 31639 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $2,230,000 for residential treatment services for the Youth and Family Community Partnership Program for the period February 1, 2015 through January 31, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the master contract and all other documents consistent with said awards and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the providers and in the approximate amounts as listed on the agenda items 7.1 through 5.
Public Safety.
Resolution number 2015-0013, a resolution making awards on requisition number 31639 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $1,400,000 for traditional residential treatment services for the period February 1, 2015 through January 31, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the master contract and all other documents consistent with said awards and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the providers and in the approximate amounts as listed on the agenda item number 8, 1 through 16.
Public Safety, and good luck, Councilman Gallagher.
Resolution number 2015-0014, a resolution authorizing a contract with the Salvation Army in the amount not to exceed $527,499 for the past transitional housing program in connection with the fiscal year 2013 Continuum of Care Homeless Assistance Grant Programs and Hearth Act for the period October 1, 2014 through September 30, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Health and Human Services.
And resolution number 2015-0015, a resolution making an award on requisition number 31528 to Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry in the amount not to exceed $553,000 for adult guardianship services for the period January 1, 2015 through December 31, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Health and Human Services. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for second reading and adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Councilman Gallagher makes the motion, and Councilman Germanis seconds the motion. Do I have all those in favor of suspending the rules, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2014-0298, a resolution making an award on requisition number 30446 to GB at 1910 Carnegie, LLC, in the amount of $600,000 for the sale of county-owned property commonly known as the Whitlatch Building, located at 1910 Carnegie Avenue, Cleveland. Authorizing the county executive to take all necessary actions and to execute all documents necessary to consummate the contemplated transactions, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
To adopt.
Second.
By Councilman Jones and seconded by Councilman Germana, please. We're sort of in transition here. Former councilman of the Public Works Committee, I know you have something to say about this.
Well, I'll make a few comments, and it's been a while since we looked at the contract, but the county did engage CBRE, who is our commercial real estate service firm that goes through our real estate portfolio, and we received a proposal from the Geist Company listed as GB at 1910 Carnegie, and they proposed a purchase of $600,000 purchase price, again, for the properties connected to the Whitlatch Building. And I do recommend this for approval to my colleagues.
Councilman Germana, do you have anything to add? No? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of a resolution for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2014-0289, a resolution authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for staff secure shelter care services for the period March 1, 2014 through February 29, 2016 for additional funds, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the contract numbers, providers, and in the amounts not to exceed as printed on the agenda, items D1, 1, and 2.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to adopt. Move to adopt by Councilman Miller and seconded by Councilman Gallagher. All right. Do you have anything to add to this? Councilman Gallagher?
Mr. President, this is a program for court-involved youth as an alternative to secure detention. The committee recommends unanimously adoption.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor of supporting the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Resolution is adopted. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance number 2014-0032, an ordinance enacting the county's Administrative Procedures Act, including establishment of the Administrative Rules Board and procedures for the publication of the Cuyahoga County Administrative Code, and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective. Additionally, Councilwoman Conwell has requested to be a sponsor to this legislation.
No, if there's no objection, we're just going to move this to the meeting on the 27th. The council agenda for third reading and adoption. No vote necessary. Believe it or not, although, it is the first meeting, sweet, short. It won't be like this for very much longer. Miscellaneous committee reports, starting over here on District Number 1.
Great. Thank you, Mr. President. January 22nd, an unusual usual day for our committee meeting, Finance and Budget. Monday being a holiday, we'll be meeting on the 22nd, which is Thursday, at 1 p.m. To discuss the items referred to committee.
Council President Brady and my colleagues, the Council Operations Committee will meet at its regular time, which will be Tuesday, January the 20th at 3 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, Public Works Procurement and Contracting will meet at its usual time next Wednesday.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. Germano, your mic's not on.
Thank you. Thank you. Public Works Procurement and Contracting will meet next Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Thank you.
Mr. President, Public Safety, the 20th, 1 o'clock.
Mr. President, with the holiday, we too are going to move the Economic Development Committee meeting to Thursday, the 22nd at 3 o'clock. There were 3 items carried over from the previous period. However, only 2 will be heard.
President Brady, Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee will be Tuesday, January 20th, at regular time, 10 a.m.
And the Health and Human Service Committee will meet at its regular time 8 days from today on January 21st to deal with the items referred today.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, it seems like we've got plenty cut out for us next week. Any miscellaneous business?
Mr. President, just one. On January 22nd, I will be invite my colleagues, a town hall meeting, 7 p.m. Bay Village Police Department, Community Room, and Judge John Russo will be the featured speaker.
All right. Anything else?
Mr. President, quickly, just like to say thank you to the County Executive Budish for swiftly taking action on this issue in East Cleveland. You know, the city has had some financial issues over the past few years. So I do appreciate him stepping in and working side by side with us to get this issue handled. It is true collaboration like this is how we continue to use these type of results in and around Cuyahoga County. So I just want to say thank you so much for including the district representative and helping get that deal done. Thank you.
All right. Any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
No, Mr. President.
All right. Well, our next regular meeting will be January 27th. here in the C. Ellen Conley Council Chambers. Our committees will begin on the 20th after the holiday. And it looks like we've got plenty of stuff on our agenda already, and it's going to continue to snowball, I'm sure. Well, it's great to have everybody here this evening. Thanks for coming in this weather, and this is. I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn this first meeting of 2015.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Jones and seconded by Councilman Harrison, I believe. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. This committee is adjourned.
Some of that in church.